I should have known something was off when Marcus started working late every single Thursday. Not sometimes. Every single week. But I trusted him. We'd been married for 6 years, together for 9. High school sweethearts who made it work through college, his law school, my nursing program. We were supposed to be the couple that beat the odds. I'm Simone, by the way. 32, ICU nurse at Memorial Hospital, and apparently the biggest fool in Atlanta. It started small, little things that didn't add up. Marcus would come home smelling like perfume that wasn't mine. Not even close. I wear light, citrusy scents. This was heavy, musky, expensive. When I asked about it, he'd say it was from hugging a colleague at work. His firm had just hired more women attorneys, he said. Totally normal. Then there were the credit card statements. I handled our finances. Always had. Marcus was brilliant with contracts and litigation, but personal budgeting? Not his thing. So when I saw charges from restaurants we'd never been to, hotels in our own city, jewelry stores I'd never received anything from, I felt my stomach drop. "Babe, those are work expenses," he explained, barely looking up from his phone. Client dinners. The hotel was for an out-of-state attorney who needed a place to crash. The jewelry was a retirement gift for Sheila in accounting. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to. But then his mother got involved. Diane, Marcus's mother. The woman who'd made it clear from day one that I wasn't good enough for her baby boy. Not rich enough. Not light-skinned enough. Not from the right family. My parents were both teachers in public schools. Marcus's father was a surgeon. His mother, a former pageant queen who married into money and never let anyone forget it. "Simone, honey," she'd said at our wedding reception, loud enough for others to hear, "I hope you know how lucky you are. Marcus could have had anyone." I bit my tongue that day, bit it 1,000 times over the years. Diane started showing up at our house more often. Always when Marcus was home, never when it was just me. She'd bring food, "Because you work so much, Simone, and my son needs home-cooked meals." She'd reorganize my kitchen, critique my decorating choices, make little comments about how I was letting myself go, even though I'd only gained 5 pounds since the wedding. Marcus never defended me, not once. "That's just how she is," he'd say. "She means well." No, she didn't. The breaking point came on a Thursday night in October. I'd switched shifts with another nurse, got off early for once, thought I'd surprise Marcus, maybe cook dinner, have a nice evening together. We hadn't had one of those in months. I pulled into our driveway at 7 p.m., excited to see his car already there. But there was another car too, a white Mercedes SUV I recognized immediately. Diane's car. And another car, a silver Lexus I didn't recognize. The front door was unlocked. I could hear voices before I even stepped inside. Laughter, multiple people. I walked into my own living room and froze. Marcus was on the couch. Next to him was a woman I'd never seen before. Light-skinned, long weave, full makeup, designer dress. She had her hand on his thigh. Diane was in my armchair, looking like the cat who'd swallowed the canary. And Marcus's sister, Tasha, was there too, scrolling through her phone like this was totally normal. "Simone!" Diane's voice was sugar-sweet poison. "You're home early!" Marcus jumped up, but not fast enough. Not before I saw the guilt flash across his face. "Who the hell is this?" I pointed at the woman on my couch. "I'm Keisha," she said, like that explained everything. She didn't even have the decency to look uncomfortable. "Marcus and I work together." "Work together?" My voice was flat. "On my couch, in my house, with his hand on your—" "Simone, you're overreacting," Marcus cut me off. "Keisha just stopped by to drop off some files. Mama came over to bring dinner. Tasha tagged along. That's it." Files. I looked at the coffee table. No briefcase, no documents, just wine glasses. 3 of them. "Baby." "It's not what it looks like," Marcus said. "Then what is it?" My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. "Because it looks like you're entertaining another woman in our home while your mama sits there watching." Diane stood up. Don't you dare speak to me like that, girl. I raised my son right. If he's looking elsewhere, maybe you should ask yourself why." The room went silent. "What did you just say?" I whispered. "You heard me." Diane stepped closer. "You're never home. You're always at that hospital. You don't cook anymore. You barely clean. Marcus is a successful attorney. He deserves a wife who takes care of him, who makes him a priority. Maybe if you'd focused on your marriage instead of your career, we wouldn't be having this conversation." I looked at Marcus, waited for him to say something, anything. He looked at the floor. "Marcus!" My voice cracked. "Say something." "Simone, maybe Mama has a point. You do work a lot. And when you're home, you're tired. We barely talk anymore. We haven't been intimate in weeks. I'm an ICU nurse during a pandemic that just barely ended. I'm watching people die every single day, and you're upset that I'm too exhausted to have sex? See?" Diane turned to Keisha. "This is what he deals with. The attitude, the drama." Keisha actually nodded. Actually sat there in my house and nodded along while my mother-in-law trashed me. Something inside me shattered, but not in the way they probably expected. I didn't cry, didn't yell, didn't break down. I got very, very calm. "Everybody out," I said quietly. "Excuse me?" Diane clutched her pearls. Literally. I said, "Get out of my house. Now." "Your house?" Tasha finally looked up from her phone. "Girl, Marcus pays the mortgage. This is his house. We're married, joint ownership. It's our house, and I'm telling you to leave." "Simone, you're being dramatic," Marcus said. "Just calm down so we can talk about this." "No." I pulled out my phone. "You have 5 minutes to get out before I call the police." "You wouldn't dare!" Diane hissed. I started dialing. They left. Keisha grabbed her purse and hurried out like her designer heels were on fire. Tasha rolled her eyes but followed. Diane took her time, making sure to deliver one final barb on her way out. "He's going to leave you, Simone, and when he does, don't come crying to us." Marcus lingered at the door. "Baby, please, let's just talk." "Get out." "So, Marcus, this is my house too." "Then I'll leave." I pushed past him and headed to our bedroom. He followed me. "Simone, stop. You're upset. I get it. But you're blowing this way out of proportion." I started throwing clothes into a suitcase. My hands were shaking, but I kept moving. Had to keep moving, or I'd fall apart. "Out of proportion?" I laughed, but it sounded more like a sob. "Your mistress was sitting on our couch. Your mother was coaching her, and you just stood there." "She's not my mistress. We're just friends." "Friends don't touch each other like that, and friends definitely don't visit your house when your wife isn't home while your mama plays hostess." He grabbed my arm. Not hard, but enough to make me stop packing. "Don't touch me," I said. He let go. "Where are you going to go?" "Anywhere but here." I grabbed my suitcase, my purse, my phone charger, walked out of that bedroom, out of that house, and didn't look back even when Marcus called my name. I drove to my best friend Rochelle's apartment, showed up on her doorstep at 9 p.m., looking like I'd been through a war. "Oh, honey." She pulled me inside. "What happened?" I told her everything, every detail. She listened, her face getting angrier with each word. "That man is cheating on you," she said flatly, "and his mama is helping him." "I know," I whispered. "I know." I stayed at Rochelle's that night. Couldn't sleep, just stared at the ceiling while my phone blew up with texts from Marcus. "Baby, please come home. We need to talk. You're being unreasonable. Mama didn't mean anything by it. Keisha is just a friend." I swear I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my banking app and looked at our joint account. $47,000. Money we'd been saving for a house, a bigger place where we could start a family. I looked at our credit card statements again. Really looked this time. Marcus had been using our joint card for everything. The hotels, the restaurants, the jewelry. He'd been funding his affair with our money. Money I'd contributed to. Money I'd worked 60-hour weeks to help save. The jewelry charge was from 3 weeks ago. $2,300 at Tiffany's. I'd never received anything from Tiffany's in my life. I took screenshots of everything, every receipt, every statement, every suspicious charge, sent them all to myself, and backed them up in 3 different places. Then, I did something I probably should have done months ago. I checked our cell phone records. Marcus and I shared a family plan. I had access to all the call logs and texts. I'd never looked before because I trusted him. What a mistake. There were hundreds of calls to one number, calls that lasted 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes longer. Late-night calls, early morning calls. Calls made while he was supposedly working late. The number belonged to Keisha. Had to be. I cross-referenced the calls with the credit card charges. Every time Marcus bought dinner at a fancy restaurant, there was a call to that number right before. Every hotel charge matched up with a long phone conversation. He'd been seeing her for at least 8 months, maybe longer. I sat there in Rochelle's spare room, looking at all the evidence, and something hardened inside me. They thought I was weak, thought I'd just take it. Roll over and accept being disrespected in my own home. If you're enjoying this story and want to hear what happens next, please subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss the revenge that's coming. Marcus had no idea what he'd just unleashed. The next morning, Friday, I called in sick to work. First time in 2 years I'd done that when I wasn't actually dying. Then I called a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. The best divorce attorney in Atlanta. A woman named Patricia Jenkins, who had a reputation for absolutely destroying cheating husbands in court. "Tell me everything," she said when we met in her office an hour later. I did. Showed her all my evidence. The screenshots, the bank statements, the phone records, everything. Patricia smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "Oh, honey, we're going to take him for everything." "I don't want his money," I said. "I want him to hurt. Trust me, when we're done, he'll hurt and be broke." We spent 3 hours going over everything. Patricia explained that Georgia was an equitable distribution state, which meant assets got divided fairly, but not necessarily equally in a divorce. But with evidence of Marcus using marital funds for his affair, I had a strong case for getting more than half of everything. "What about his mother?" I asked. "Can I do anything about her?" "Like what?" "I don't know. Sue her for alienation of affection? Is that a thing?" Patricia laughed. "It is in some states, but not Georgia. However, if we can prove she was actively facilitating the affair, letting them use her house, covering for him, things like that, it'll make Marcus look even worse to a judge. It shows pattern of behavior and family conspiracy." Family conspiracy. I liked the sound of that. "What do I do next?" "First, separate your finances. Today, open a new checking account in just your name at a different bank. Transfer exactly half of the joint savings. You're entitled to that. Then remove yourself from the joint account and credit cards. Change your direct deposit. Cut him off financially. He's going to lose his mind. Good, let him. Don't respond to his tantrums. Document everything. Save every text, every voicemail, every threat. It'll all help us in court." I left Patricia's office feeling lighter than I had in months, maybe years. I went straight to a different bank, opened a new account, transferred $23,500 from our joint savings, requested a new debit card. The whole process took 45 minutes. So then I went back to the house. Marcus was at work. I'd checked his calendar before I left, the one he synced to our shared Google account. I had maybe 2 hours. I packed everything, my clothes, my shoes, my toiletries, books, photos of my family, my grandmother's jewelry, the quilts my mother had made, everything that mattered. It took 3 trips to load up my car. I was sweating by the end, but I didn't care. I left my keys on the kitchen counter, left my wedding ring there too, didn't leave a note. He didn't deserve one. I drove back to Rochelle's place and unloaded everything into her spare room. "You really doing this?" she asked. "I really am." My phone started ringing around 3 p.m. Marcus. I didn't answer. It rang 6 more times over the next hour. Then the texts started. "Home, where are you? Why aren't you answering? I went home for lunch and your car wasn't there." "Simone, answer me. This is ridiculous. I blocked his number. Then I blocked Diane's, and Tasha's, and anyone else from Marcus's family. Around 5 p.m., Rochelle came into the spare room. "Girl, you need to see this." She showed me her phone. Diane had posted on Facebook, praying for my son Marcus during this difficult time. His wife has abandoned him and their marriage. Please keep him in your thoughts. Marriage is hard work, and some people just give up when things get tough. So heartbroken for my baby boy. The post already had 50 comments, most from Diane's church friends, offering prayers and support. A few from family members, calling me everything but a child of God. I felt rage bubble up in my chest. "Don't respond," Rochelle warned. That's what she wants. I'm not going to respond. I'm going to do something better. I opened my own Facebook, posted my own message. To everyone asking, yes, I've left my husband. I discovered he's been having an affair and using our joint finances to fund it. I have proof, lots of proof. The full story will come out in divorce court. Until then, believe what you want. I know the truth. I didn't tag anyone, didn't name names, just stated facts. Within minutes, my phone exploded. Comments, messages, texts from people I hadn't talked to in years. My mother called. "Baby, what's going on? I saw your post. Mama, Marcus has been cheating on me with a woman from his firm. His mother knew about it. She brought her to our house." Silence. Then, "That son of a... I'm coming to Atlanta, right now." "No, Mama, you don't have to... I'm coming. Your daddy, too. We'll be there by tonight." She hung up before I could argue. My phone buzzed with a call from an unknown number. I answered without thinking. "You petty bitch!" Diane's voice screeched through the speaker. "How dare you air our family business on social media? Your son aired it when he brought his mistress to my house. She's not his mistress. They're friends. Friends don't spend $2,300 on Tiffany jewelry for each other, Diane. Or did you think I wouldn't notice that charge?" Silence. That's what I thought. Lose my number. I hung up, blocked that number too. Another call came through immediately, another unknown number. I let it go to voicemail, then another, and another. They were using different phones to try to reach me. Probably Diane's church friends, Marcus's co-workers, anyone they could rope into harassing me. I turned off my phone. "Girl, you are handling this like a boss," Rochelle said, bringing me a glass of wine. "I'm falling apart," I admitted. "Yeah, but you're falling apart while taking care of business. That's the difference." My parents arrived around midnight. Mama took one look at me and pulled me into a hug that made me finally break down and cry. "My baby," she whispered. "I'm so sorry." Daddy didn't say much, just hugged me tight and told me everything would be okay. They stayed at a hotel nearby, but came back first thing Saturday morning with breakfast and battle plans. "What do you need from us?" Daddy asked. "Just be here, that's all. We're not going anywhere." The weekend passed in a blur. I turned my phone back on, only to find 300 notifications, saved messages from Marcus's family, his friends, people from his firm, all telling me I was wrong, that I was a liar, that I was destroying a good man's reputation over nothing. But there were other messages too, from my own friends, my co-workers, people who'd known me for years and knew I wouldn't lie about something like this. "We believe you, stay strong, you deserve better. If you need anything, call me Monday morning." I went back to work, threw myself into 12-hour shifts, grateful for the distraction. My co-workers knew something was wrong, but didn't push. They just covered for me when I needed to step out and cry in the supply closet. Tuesday afternoon, Patricia called. Marcus's attorney reached out. He wants to negotiate. Already? He knows he's screwed. The evidence you have is damning. They want to try to settle out of court. Hey, keep things quiet. What's he offering? Half of everything, including the house. He'll buy you out of your share of the equity. No? No? I want the house. I want my half of the savings, which I already took. I want half of his 401k, and I want him to pay my legal fees. Patricia laughed. You're learning. I'll send over the counteroffer. Wednesday evening, I was at Rochelle's place when someone started pounding on her door. Marcus. Simone, open this door. I know you're in there. Rochelle called the police while I stayed in the bedroom. I could hear him yelling through the door. This is insane! You can't just leave and take our money. That's theft. I'll have you arrested. The police arrived 10 minutes later. I heard them talking to Marcus, telling him to leave or he'd be arrested for disturbing the peace. He finally left, but not before shouting one more thing. You're going to regret this, Simone. You hear me? You'll regret this. I didn't sleep that night. Thursday, I got a call from my bank. Someone had tried to access my new account. They had my social security number, my address, all my information, but they didn't have the password. We flagged it as suspicious and locked the account. The banker said, You'll need to come in and verify your identity to unlock it. Marcus. It had to be. I went to the bank during my lunch break, changed all my security questions, added extra verification steps. Has anyone tried to access my account since? I asked. 3 more attempts this morning, all blocked. He was trying to steal from me, actually trying to drain my account. I called Patricia immediately. Add that to the list, she said grimly. Attempted financial theft during divorce proceedings. The judge is going to love this. Friday morning, exactly 1 week after I'd walked out, I got a letter, a legal notice. Marcus was countersuing for divorce on grounds of abandonment. He was claiming I'd left without cause, stolen marital funds, and was now slandering him publicly. He wanted the house, the savings, everything, and his mother had signed an affidavit supporting his claims, saying I'd been an absent wife, that I'd neglected my marriage, that she'd witnessed my emotional abuse of her son. I read the letter 3 times, my hands shaking. Then I called Patricia. They just declared war, I said. Good, Patricia replied. Let's give them one they'll never forget. The hearing was set for 3 weeks out. Preliminary divorce proceedings, where both sides would present their cases and the judge would make initial rulings about assets, living arrangements, all of that. Patricia filed a motion for exclusive use of the marital home, citing Marcus's harassment and attempted financial theft. She also requested a temporary restraining order preventing him from contacting me except through attorneys. This is going to get ugly, she warned. Are you ready? I've been ready, I said. What I didn't tell her was that I'd barely eaten in days, that I woke up every night at 3 a.m. in a panic, that I was holding myself together with pure spite and caffeine. But I was ready. The weekend before the hearing, Diane made another Facebook post. This one was longer, more detailed. It breaks my heart to watch my son suffer. Guy Simone has abandoned their marriage without cause, taken his money, and is now spreading lies about him to anyone who will listen. Marcus has been nothing but a devoted husband. He works hard to provide for them. He's never raised his hand to her, never disrespected her, always treated her like a queen. But some women don't appreciate a good man when they have one. Some women are so focused on their careers and their own needs that they forget what marriage means. Commitment, sacrifice, putting your husband first. I raised my son to be a godly man, and he deserves a godly wife. Please continue to pray for him during this trial. The truth will come out. The post had over 200 comments. People I'd never met calling me every name in the book, saying I was bitter, saying I was jealous, most saying I was lying about the affair because I couldn't handle Marcus's success. My mother saw the post and called me immediately. Baby, let me respond to this woman. Please, let me tell her about herself. No, Mama, don't engage. That's what she wants. But she's lying. Everyone can see through it. Not everyone, and that's okay. The people who matter know the truth. But it hurt. God, it hurt to see people believe her, to watch her play the victim while I was the one whose life had been destroyed. Rochelle found me crying in the bathroom that night. They're winning, I sobbed. His family is controlling the narrative, and everyone believes them. Everyone doesn't believe them. His family and their fake church friends believe them. Real people who know you, who've seen how you carry yourself. Sigh, they know better. It doesn't feel like enough. It will be. When you walk into that courtroom with your evidence, your lawyer, and your truth, it'll be enough. Trust me. I wanted to believe her. Monday came too fast. I took the day off work, put on my best suit, navy blue, professional, the outfit I wore when I needed to feel powerful, and met Patricia at the courthouse. "Remember," she said as we walked in, "don't react to anything they say. No matter how absurd or hurtful, keep your face neutral, let the evidence speak for itself." Marcus was already there with his attorney. He wouldn't look at me, just stared straight ahead like I didn't exist. Diane was in the gallery behind him. So was Tasha, and about 10 other people from his family and church. On my side, my parents, Rochelle, 2 of my coworkers who'd taken the day off to support me. The judge was a black woman in her 50s named Judge Keating. She had a reputation for being fair but tough, especially on people who wasted her time. "Let's begin," she said. "This is a preliminary hearing for the divorce proceedings between Marcus and Simone Thompson. We're here to establish temporary arrangements and address any immediate concerns. Mr. Thompson, your attorney, may present first." Marcus's attorney, a white man in an expensive suit named Howard Bennett, stood up. "Your Honor, my client is here today, heartbroken. His wife of 6 years abandoned their marriage without warning, removed significant funds from their joint account, and has since been engaging in a public smear campaign against him and his family. Mr. Thompson is a respected attorney at Mitchell & Sanders, a devoted son, a faithful husband. He's done nothing to deserve this treatment. We're asking the court to grant him exclusive use of the marital home, return the funds Mrs. Thompson took, and order her to cease all public statements about this case." Patricia stood up. "Your Honor, may I respond?" "Please do." Opposing counsel paints a very sympathetic picture. Unfortunately, it's complete fiction. We have extensive evidence proving Mr. Thompson has been engaged in an extramarital affair for at least 8 months, using marital funds to finance his relationship with his mistress. We have phone records showing hundreds of calls, credit card statements showing suspicious charges, and eyewitness testimony, Mrs. Ye Thompson's own account, of discovering the affair in the marital home with Mr. Thompson's mother present and apparently complicit. The courtroom went completely silent. Marcus's face turned red. Diane stood up in the gallery. "That's a lie!" she shouted. Judge Keating slammed her gavel. "Ma'am, sit down! One more outburst and you'll be removed." Diane sat, but she looked like she was about to explode. "Continue, Ms. Jenkins," the judge said. Patricia pulled out a folder. "Your Honor, I have copies of all the evidence for your review. Bank statements, phone records, text messages that Mr. Thompson sent to our client admitting he needed to talk about what she saw. The pattern is clear and documented." She handed everything to the bailiff, who passed it to the judge. Judge Keating took her time reviewing each page. The silence stretched out. I could feel Marcus's attorney getting nervous. Finally, the judge looked up. "Mr. Bennett, did you know about any of this before today?" "Your Honor, my client denies—" "I didn't ask what your client denies. I asked if you knew about this evidence. We were made aware that Mrs. Thompson had some allegations, but—" "Some allegations." Judge Keating held up the phone records. "These show 347 calls to the same number over 8 months, all during business hours, late nights, early mornings, many of them lasting over an hour. You want to tell me what work conversation needs to happen for an hour at 11 p.m.? Silence. "That's what I thought." The judge looked at me. "Mrs. Thompson, can you tell me in your own words what happened on the night of October 19th? I stood up, all my legs shaking. "Yes, Your Honor. I came home early from work. My husband was on our couch with another woman. His mother was there, his sister too. The woman had her hand on my husband's thigh. When I asked who she was, she introduced herself as Keisha and said she worked with my husband. There were no work materials, just wine glasses. When I confronted them, my mother-in-law told me that if my husband was looking elsewhere, I should ask myself why. She said I wasn't home enough, that I didn't cook or clean enough, that my husband deserved a wife who made him a priority. And what did your husband say to this? He said his mother had a point, that I worked too much, that we hadn't been intimate in weeks. He never denied the affair, just made excuses for it. Judge Keating wrote something down. And the financial aspect? I discovered charges on our joint credit card, hotels in our own city, restaurants, a $2,300 purchase from Tiffany's that I never received. When I confronted him, he said they were work expenses. But I have the dates cross-referenced with the phone records. Every expensive purchase matches up with a call to the same woman. The judge looked at Marcus. Mr. Thompson, stand up. Marcus stood, looking pale. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Your Honor, Simone and I have been having problems. Marriage is hard. We've been growing apart. But I never used marital funds inappropriately. Those were legitimate work expenses. A hotel room in your own city is a work expense. Sometimes out-of-state colleagues need a place to stay. For 8 months? The same colleague? Every single week? Marcus didn't answer. Judge Keating looked at Patricia. Do you have the name of this colleague? Keisha Daniels, Your Honor. She's an associate at Mitchell & Sanders. We've subpoenaed her to testify at the full hearing. Good. I want to hear her explanation for these hotel visits. The judge looked at Marcus's attorney. Mr. Bennett, I'm denying your motions. All of them. Mrs. Thompson will retain exclusive use of the marital home. The funds she transferred were exactly half of the joint savings, which she's entitled to. As for the public statements, everything she's said appears to be factual based on this evidence. Your client is the one who should be worried about his reputation. But, Your Honor, I'm not finished. I'm also granting Mrs. Thompson's request for a restraining order. Mr. Thompson is not to contact her except through attorneys. No calls, no text, no showing up at her residence or workplace. Is that clear? Yes, Your Honor, Marcus mumbled. I didn't hear you. Yes, Your Honor. Good. We'll reconvene in 6 weeks for the full divorce hearing. At that time, I expect to see financial documents for the last 3 years, complete phone records, and testimony from this Keisha Daniels. If I find out anyone has been tampering with evidence or intimidating witnesses, there will be consequences. Are we clear? Everyone mumbled agreement. This hearing is adjourned. The gavel slammed down. I stood there, shaking, unable to believe what had just happened. We'd won. Not the whole war, but this battle, decisively. Patricia grabbed my arm. Come on. Let's get out of here before they try to talk to you. We hurried out of the courtroom. Behind us, I could hear Diane's voice rising in anger, Marcus trying to calm her down, his attorney telling them both to be quiet. Outside, my parents were waiting. Baby girl, you did so good, Daddy said, pulling me into a hug. Mama was crying. I'm so proud of you. We need to celebrate, Rochelle announced. Drinks, now. We went to a bar near the courthouse. Patricia bought the first round. That was better than I could have hoped for, she said, raising her glass. Judge Keating shut them down completely. And the look on Diane's face when the judge called out her son. Priceless. I couldn't stop shaking. The adrenaline was wearing off, and reality was setting in. What happens now? I asked. Now we prepare for the full hearing. We'll depose Keisha, get more evidence, build an airtight case. But honestly, after today, I think Marcus will want to settle. His attorney knows they can't win this. And if he doesn't settle? Then we go to trial, and I make him wish he had. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You think you won. This isn't over, not by a long shot. I showed it to Patricia. Save that. Add it to the evidence file. They're digging their own grave. The next few days were surreal. Word spread fast about what had happened in court. Marcus's family tried to spin it on social media, but too many people had been in that courtroom. The truth was out. I got messages from women I barely knew, thanking me for standing up for myself. sharing their own stories of betrayal and how they wished they'd had my courage. My coworkers at the hospital threw me a divorce party in the break room, complete with a cake that said new beginnings and gifts, self-care items, wine, a gift card for a massage. "You're doing the right thing," my charge nurse told me. "That man didn't deserve you." But the best moment came 3 days after the hearing. I was at the house, my house now, according to the judge's order, when someone knocked on the door. A young woman, early 20s, pretty, nervous. "Can I help you?" I asked. "Are you Simone Thompson?" "Yes." "I'm Keisha's roommate. Can I come in? I need to talk to you." I let her in, my heart pounding. "I don't know if I should be doing this," she said, once we were sitting in the living room. "But Keisha is my friend, and I can't watch her do this anymore." "Do what?" "Destroy your life, and hers." "And Marcus's." She pulled out her phone. "Keisha told me everything about the affair, how it started at a work conference last year, how Marcus told her his marriage was basically over, that you were just staying together for appearances, how his mother encouraged the relationship because she never liked you and thought Keisha was a better fit." My stomach turned. His mother knew from the beginning? "She introduced them at some family event. She specifically told Keisha that you weren't right for Marcus and that he needed someone who understood his lifestyle." "I need you to testify to this, in court." She hesitated. "If I do, Keisha will never forgive me." "If she's really your friend, she'll understand that you're trying to help her. Because Marcus is using her. He's not leaving me for her. He just wanted someone on the side who would boost his ego and let him pretend he was still young and desirable. Once this divorce is done, he'll drop her." "You really think so?" "I know so. Men like Marcus don't leave their wives unless they're forced to. And even then, they don't go for the mistress. Too much baggage. Too much guilt." She thought about it, then nodded. "Okay, I'll testify. Give me your lawyer's number." I called Patricia right there and handed over the phone. 20 minutes later, we had another witness. "This changes everything," Patricia said after the roommate left. "With her testimony, we can prove premeditation, conspiracy. This wasn't just an affair. It was a coordinated effort by Marcus and his mother to push you out." "Can we use that in court?" "Absolutely. It goes to character, shows pattern of behavior. And it'll make the judge look very unfavorably on any of their custody or asset claims. We don't have kids." "No, but it still matters. Trust me." The full hearing was scheduled for 6 weeks out, but 3 weeks later, Patricia got a call from Marcus's attorney. "They want to settle," she told me, "and not just settle. They're offering you almost everything." "What's almost everything?" "The house, free and clear. Your half of the savings, which you already have. 60% of his 401k alimony for 3 years, and they'll pay all your legal fees." I sat down. "Why?" Keisha's roommate wasn't the only person who came forward. 2 other women from Marcus's firm contacted me. They said he'd been inappropriate with them too. Nothing they reported because they didn't want to hurt their careers, but enough that they're willing to testify to a pattern of behavior. Marcus's bosses found out. He's been put on leave pending an investigation. His attorney knows that if we go to trial, all of this comes out publicly. Marcus could lose his job, his license, everything. Good. So do we take the deal? I thought about it, about everything Marcus and his family had put me through. The lies, the gaslighting, the attempts to make me feel crazy for trusting my instincts. "Yes," I said, "we take the deal, but I have one condition." "What's that?" "Diane has to admit publicly that she was wrong, that she lied about me, that she helped facilitate the affair. I want a full apology on social media where everyone can see it." Patricia laughed. "That woman will never agree to that." "Then we go to trial." Patricia called back Marcus's attorney. Gave him my terms. "She'll never do it," he said. "You know that. Then we'll see you in court. And when we do, every single detail of this affair comes out. The hotels, the gifts, The inappropriate behavior with other colleagues, Marcus's pending investigation at work, all of it, public record. Reporters will have a field day. 2 hours later, they agreed. The next day, Diane posted on Facebook, "I want to apologize to Simone Thompson. I was wrong about the situation between her and my son. I allowed my personal feelings to cloud my judgment, and I participated in behavior that hurt Simone deeply. She did not abandon her marriage. My son betrayed his marriage vows, and I enabled that betrayal. I'm sorry for the pain I caused and the lies I spread. Simone deserved better from all of us." The post had over 500 comments within an hour. People were shocked. Diane's church friends were demanding explanations. Her family was divided, some supporting her for doing the right thing, others furious that she'd thrown Marcus under the bus. I read it 3 times, tears streaming down my face. Not because I forgave her, I didn't, probably never would, but because finally, everyone knew the truth. The divorce was finalized 2 months later. I got everything we'd negotiated. The house, the money, the alimony, my freedom. Marcus moved in with his mother. The firm suspended him without pay while they investigated. 3 more women came forward with complaints. He was eventually asked to resign. Keisha left Mitchell and Sanders a month after everything came out. Word was she moved to Charlotte to start over. I hoped she learned something from all this. Probably not, but I could hope. I threw myself into work, picked up extra shifts, saved every penny of the alimony, started therapy to deal with the trauma of the last year. Slowly, I started to feel like myself again. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I was having drinks with Rochelle when my phone buzzed. A text from another unknown number. "Simone, it's Marcus. I know I'm not supposed to contact you, but I need to say this. I'm sorry for everything. You deserved so much better than what I gave you. I was selfish and weak, and I let my mother manipulate me into thinking I wasn't happy. But I was. I was happy with you. I just didn't appreciate it until I lost it. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know that you were right about everything. And I hope one day you find someone who treats you the way I should have." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I deleted it without responding. Some things don't deserve your energy, not even closure. "What was that?" Rochelle asked. "Nothing important." "Good, because I have important news. There's this doctor at Memorial who's been asking about you, Dr. Williams. Fine as hell, single, no crazy family as far as I can tell." I laughed. "I'm not ready." "I didn't say you had to marry him. I said he's interested. When you're ready, let me know. I'll set it up." "Maybe." "That's progress." We clinked glasses. "To new beginnings," Rochelle said. "To new beginnings," I echoed. And for the first time in a year, I actually believed it. A year later, I was sitting on the porch of my house, fully mine now. Not a trace of Marcus left anywhere, when my phone rang. My mother. "Baby, you sitting down?" "Mama, what's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong, I just got some news. Diane had a stroke. She's in the hospital." My first instinct was satisfaction, karma. But then I remembered something my grandmother used to say, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. "Is she okay?" I asked. "She'll live. But Marcus is apparently overwhelmed trying to take care of her. Tasha moved out of state. None of his family is helping much. That's unfortunate." "Simone?" "What, Mama?" "I'm proud of you. For not being bitter, for moving on, for becoming even stronger than you were." "I had good teachers." "Yes, you did." We talked for a while longer, then I hung up and went inside. Dr. Williams, Daniel, was in the kitchen making dinner. We'd been dating for 6 months, taking it slow. He knew my story, knew what I'd been through, and never once made me feel like I was damaged goods. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Yeah, just family stuff." "Want to talk about it?" "Not really." "Okay." He went back to chopping vegetables. Didn't push, didn't pry. Just let me have my space. That's how I knew he was different. We ate dinner on the porch, watching the sunset, talking about everything and nothing. I have a question, Daniel said eventually. Shoot. Do you ever regret it? Walking away? Burning it all down? I thought about it, about everything I'd lost, everything I'd gained. Not for a second, I said. And I meant it. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't making someone pay. It's building a life so good they'll regret losing you for the rest of theirs. Marcus lost his job, his reputation, his marriage, and probably any chance of a healthy relationship again. I lost a cheating husband and gained my self-respect. I'd say I won. Thank you so much for reading my story. If it resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel for more real-life stories about betrayal, survival, and coming out stronger on the other side. Your support means everything, and I hope my journey helps someone else find the courage to stand up for themselves too.